Across the U.S., major U.S. utility companies are branching into the growing field of solar energy. Among them, ConEdison, the company that got its start nearly 200 years ago bringing gas lights to New York City. And now through its affiliate, ConEdison Solutions, it's delivering sunlight and other green energy in 11 states. Its latest project is in New Bedford, Massachusetts, where the city's mayor has made a major commitment to solar energy. I spoke with Ian Diamond, a solar developer for ConEdison Solutions in New York. Ian, New Bedford, once the whaling capital of the world, now sees itself as a solar center, this Massachusetts community. What's ConEdison's role there right now?
Thank you for the question, Bill. The City of New Bedford, we're favoured to have them as a client, sophisticated as they are in looking at the energy usage and their energy costs, particularly for a long-term established city. They're very concerned about their operating costs, and we've been working with them in looking at their own buildings, be them schools around the city and elsewhere, installing solar on a number of their facilities, and we're providing them the power from that solar at costs that are lower than their grid costs for electricity. From that, the city is able to save on their electricity costs, not just for this year, but in the long term.
Is this project and this region typical of the opportunities that ConEd Solutions is looking for?
Yes, certainly. And we focus where there are the number of factors, high cost of electricity, where there is reasonable sunshine, and also where there are incentives that make it economic, where we can provide solar through a power purchase agreement where, as ConEdison Solutions, we will own the system, and we will operate it, we'll build it, we'll pay for it, and we'll sell the power to, in this case, the City of New Bedford. The benefit of the city is that there's no cost to them. We're also utilizing, in many of these cases, rooftop space, which is not being used for anything else. So there it is, it's fantastic, it's being used for solar.
What distinguishes a company like ConEdison Solutions, an affiliate of the major utility ConEd, yes, with the many other developers you see around the country? It's not unusual for a utility company to have an affiliate like this. We see it across the country. But what distinguishes your company from a lot of these other developers?
I think there are many similarities, but I think not to forget, most importantly, that we are an energy services company and we're part of an energy company. So we understand that there are economics, of course it needs to be viable, but it's an energy transaction, and that's something that we've been involved in for a long time. So we've got the interest in owning the solar generating asset and maintaining it for 20, 25, 30 years. And funny enough, people ask the question, how long will a solar system produce for? And the answer is, we don't know. We don't know. It could be 25 years, could be 30, could be 40. But it's exciting that it will generate electricity for a long period of time with very low operating costs. And so that's what we understand, it's an energy equation. And also as importantly, is we're interested in the customer, in providing energy services to the customer, like the City of New Bedford.
So you think there's a certain expertise there, a depth perhaps, that might not be as available to another company that doesn't have a tradition and a history in the energy business?
Yeah, it's very important when you're considering these power purchase agreements that are typically 20 years as an agreement, and you say, who are you dealing with? And we can say we're an energy company, we have been around a lot longer than 20 years as a subsidiary of ConEdison Incorporated. And so we understand the importance of owning and operating assets.
You know, when it comes to financing solar power projects, the benefits vary from one region to another. It's a topic, yes, we discuss all the time. How important is that as you look across the country for opportunities? You mentioned before you look for places where the cost of power is relatively high. That makes sense, but what are some of the other factors you consider?
Yes, I think there are three main factors. It's the cost of electricity. Therefore, if you've got solar power there, what's it going to save in your avoided costs from the delivered power? Significant in the Northeast, where we tend to have higher electricity costs, but even more so in places like Hawaii and Puerto Rico, where their costs of electricity are extremely high. The other aspect is what we call insulation. how much sunshine is there. Now, in Arizona, for example, a lot of sunshine in the desert regions there, or desert parts of California, where the same solar system will produce much more in the way of kilowatt hours in energy over a course of a year than it might, say, here in the Northeast. That being said, people are under the misperception that it's not sunny enough here for solar, and that's just not the case. Germany, for many years, led the way with solar.
That's right.
And their sunlight and their solar production is considerably less than what we might get here in New York or DC or in Massachusetts.
What do you consider to be the big challenge facing a company like yours now going ahead over the next year, the next 5 years?
I think there are a number of challenges, still some of the what we'd call early adopter challenges. Although people are under the misconception that solar is new technology. And so part of it is our help in improving people's knowledge and awareness of solar. If they go to, people are looking at buying a car, do they get extended warranty or not? They'll make a decision based on their knowledge. They know what it's like to drive a car, they know what it's like to buy a car. With solar, people think that it's new technology when in fact it's more mature than our cell phones. It's more mature than our laptop computers or personal computers. And people think, oh, isn't what we put on the roof going to become obsolete in 5 or 10 years' time? And the simple answer to that is absolutely not.
So there's a lot more that everyone needs to learn: the consumer,
yes,
the people who may want to finance it, the people who may want to simply put these panels up on their roofs. Ian Diamond is with ConEdison Solutions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill.
Stay tuned for Market Spotlight, where we'll talk to an official of Standard & Poor's about Wall Street's take on distributed solar energy. Stay with us.